the sky, till all the tears run dry. Till then I'll worship you, till the tropic sun grows cold, till this young world grows old. My darling, I'd adore you, and you are my reason to live. All I owned I would give, just to have you adore me, till the rivers flow upstream, till lovers cease to dream. Till then I'm yours, be mine. You are my reason to live. All I owned I would give, just to have you adore me, till the rivers flow upstream, till lovers cease to dream. Till then I'm yours, be mine.
Great to see you, Jean Maurice. So I'm here to talk and tell the story behind the scenes of how Till evolved, how it was created, and how it became. So my father, Charles Danvers, wrote Till, and it was shortly after 1945, shortly after the war ended and the demobilization of the troops in Algiers, where he was born. He was looking for work. And so it happens that he met up with a woman, Mrs. F. Don't know the initials, but she was looking to open up a cabaret. And of course, after the war, people were looking for entertainment. Being that he was a firm musician, he had toured with Edith Piaf, Charles Trenet, and many other celebrate stars. He had a lot of baggage with him, a lot of musical promise. And so they opened up a cabaret called L'Ambassadeur, the Ambassador. And it became very, very popular. Of course, people were looking for entertainment, so this was the place to go. And he formed a beautiful musical trio, and the place was booming. And it got so busy, they were looking for another waitress. So in come Janine. This is the critical part to the whole story. Janine was a French 24-year-old woman of Polish origin. And she had been tortured during the war by the Germans. She had some very deep scars in her back. Fortunately, with some friends, she managed to escape French during the occupation and moved to Algeria, where she found refuge. So there's the story. She's looking for work, and she became the waitress at L'Ambassadeur. So far, the story follows, history goes, my father found out that she loved music, and she did play piano with very much sensitivity. And so the business was booming and things went about and all. And one day my father came to work and found out Janine was not there. She had been admitted to a hospital nearby. So my dad the next day went to the hospital, and while he walked in, he bumped into a friend of his who happened to be the doctor there. And he knew the young girl. He said, Charles, and if I may, I will quote, she only has one kidney and that one is failing. And as it is written in his book, he wrote 2 autobiographical books. And I will quote, the doctor said, her left kidney is going. The German surgeons cut out the one on the right, and the left, the remaining one, was a gift. So it is here in the hospital when my dad visited with Janine that she said to him, and I will quote again if I may, she said, Charles, I'd like to ask you a favor. I'd like you to compose for me a beautiful music for me, only for me, but music I can play easily on the piano and that I will protect to my death. And so, as promised, my dad wrote this beautiful melody that he called Résurrection, Resurrection. That was the very, very first title of what became Till. Time passed, of course. Eventually, Janine got back to work, but she moved on to another position where she had better opportunity. It is later in years that a few months later that he found out that she had passed away. And again, I will quote, she had spent 5 months of happiness with her boyfriend, Monsieur G.C. Again, I don't know the initials stand for, who himself said that she died in his arms after having him promise to bury with her in her coffin the musical score of Resurrection. Bit dramatic, right?
Yeah.
So life goes on. My father continued to tour Algiers, Morocco, Tunisia, North Africa. Eventually, he met my mom, Eliane, a Brittany woman, young and feisty. They created this wonderful duo called Danvers and Danvers. And they toured all over North Africa, even the south of France, Marseille, Nice, but eventually they moved to France, and where they had their first boy, me.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. So what happened is, as he's working in the Champs-Élysées in a cabaret near Paris, there he happened to get the feeling that he just tinkled on the keys on the piano in the cabaret, late night, quiet, and he played Resurrection. It so happens that a friend of his, Lucien Lupy, a very, very prominent, extremely well-versed singer, happened to hear the music. And he said, Charles, this music is beautiful. I feel it. We should put lyrics to them. That said, a friend of his, Pierre Buisson, happened to walk over and go, Charles, it is a beautiful music. And I've always wanted to put lyrics to music. What do you think? And so they went to work. And the thing developed and crystallized until there it was. And they called it Prière sans espoir, prayer without hope. So what happened is Lucien Lupy happened to be associated with Pate Marconi Studios, a recording studios, a very good studio in Paris. And they recorded Prière sans espoir. Lucien Lupy sang it. You can find it on the YouTube. And it was so moving. It was a full-blown orchestra. So moving that the crescendo, and with the power of this man's voice, the entire orchestra, the violinists, all stood up as one man, waving their violins and their bows in unison, just magically. That is the beginning of Till, Prière sans espoir. Time passed. my father happened to play again Resurrection quietly at the same piano in the same bar. And it so happens, this man comes over and goes, what is this music? My father was busy just playing the piano, kind of, in his own world. He says, what would you say if I brought this music to America? And that got my father's attention. So he pulled away from the piano, met up with these two gentlemen. They were brothers. Apparently, they were businessmen, and they had connections to Chappell Music, Chappell and Company Music,
yeah,
in New York. So the music made it over, the manuscript made over to Chappell, and within days, my father got a telegram and said, Charles, congratulations, we love the arrangement. And the next thing, before you know it, they were signing contracts. So there it was. While this went on, Carl Sigman is the lyricist who wrote the English lyrics.
Right.
Okay. And it just so happens, I found out recently that Carl Sigman happened to live on Long Island, where we moved to, just a few miles up in Great Neck. Anyway, he wrote the lyrics, and from there, the story is the story. It became Till, it became very prominent, globally translated into so many countries, even as far as Japan, Germany, South America, all over the world. And it's still, even though it came out in 1957, first orchestra was Percy Faith and his orchestra, as you probably well know, followed by Roger Williams. The Angels in 1961 was the first rock pop group in USA that sang it as Till.
Yeah.
The last to take it was Sir Tom Jones, who had a 2-record album called Tom Jones Live at Caesar's Palace. And out of that 2-record album, they cut a 45 out of it, which be, of Till. So many people, so many artists. Paul, that is the story.
That's a beautiful. I mean, it's an incredible story. I was going to, before we talk about the song in a bit more detail, what was it? What's it like when your father's a composer, in terms of growing up in a house of music like that?
Well, it so happens you said the key words, house of music. So my mom is from Brittany, and they speak Celtic there, or they did.
Yeah.
Our house, we had a plaque on the house called Care Musique. Care Musique is the house of music.
Oh, really?
Yes. So you can only imagine. Growing up, it was always music. My parents were entertained here on the island in the cabaret. There was always music. There was always parties with music. My brother and I formed the band. We had our own bands. My brother plays several musicians. My sister is an artiste. It was wonderful, beautiful memories.
In terms of the many versions that have been recorded over the years, which is your top? Let's go top 3.
Oh my, Paul, there are so many. I mean, all of them are just wonderful. I can't imagine one artiste being better than the next. But as far as instrumentals, I think Percy Faith and his orchestra and Roger Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, the music was raw at the time, and it was pure. Nothing, to deface any of its feelings. As far as singing, well, Sir Tom Jones, of course. I think the power of Sir Tom Jones, the one from his 2-record album.
Yeah.
Also did a disco version later. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, there was a disco version also, because it was in the late 70s, 71 when that came out. But he did later a disco version. There's another great, beautiful version I love, is by Jerry Vale. I don't know if you know Jerry Vale.
I'll have to look that up, yeah.
Jerry Vale, beautiful. There are so many, but the one in French, the first and only single recording, Prière sans espoir, done by Lucien Lupy, to me is the most moving, not only because the lyrics are a little different from the lyrics by Carl Sigmund.
Mm.
The lyrics of Prière sans espoir are very dramatic. They're very dark. It's hard for me to translate offhand, but they are dark. They're profound. But yeah. And then I have recordings of my dad singing it as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
If you had time, I'd be more than happy to play it for you.
That would be amazing to hear the original concept of the song. What was this body of work? How's it affected your life? This song, Jean Maurice.
Oh, Paul, to date, it's still with us as a family, as musicians. I mean, I'm the black sheep of the family. I don't read music. I play by ear.
Yeah.
I play a little guitar, mandolin. I play drums. I did some recording stuff, but it's always with us, And unfortunately, I don't hear it playing anywhere anymore. But it used to be a time where you turn the radio on, and there it was, pop all over the place. It's been a great influence. And my father was not a religious man; he was a spiritual man.
Yeah.
And I believe that he in his mind, all of this occurred because of Janine, her spirit, her essence, if you will, interjected into this music that inspired him, and it came to be what it is today. And I think that's why it touches so many people, with the help of Carl Sigmund's wonderful, beautiful lyrics. I mean, they're eternal.
With a great song, the lyrics stand up on their own, and the song stands up on their own. The melody stands up on their own, and everything. And I think another thing about this beautiful song is that it gives arrangers a chance to really open out the song to something that people can go within from never heard the song to in 3 minutes. Within 2 minutes they're in tears at the end of the song. I mean, I watched Shirley Bassey's yesterday and thought, God, that is,
yeah.
It's so powerful, and I think it enables performers to go into that top gear, as it were. Maybe not necessarily volume wise but intensity wise. This is such a powerful song, and the lyrics. Well, I've got them in front of me actually, but where is it? Till the tropic sun grows cold, till this young world grows old. I mean, that is. I mean, in terms of getting a lyric to rhyme and just stand out as, I mean, I have never heard of another song with tropic sun grows cold in it. I mean, that's just beautiful, beautiful poetry. And I think that I didn't realize that the origins of the song. And I mean, it strikes me that's an incredible aspect that your father and Janine were there at that time, and she asked him to write a melody for her. I mean, in terms of motivation for writing a song, I mean, that that's probably the greatest motivation anybody could have, I think, really.
Really, I mean, when you think this was in the hospital, and there she is, basically professing the rest of her life, this is what I need, this is what I want, and of all things, to title it resurrection. You think about it, she goes with the manuscript with her, in the coffin with her.
Yeah.
And the melody is reborn, if you will.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's spiritual.
Do you have a copy of the original lyrics, Jean Maurice?
Yes, I do. Well, actually, if you listen to Lucien Lupy. Okay.
Yeah.
When you listen to Lucien Lupy, if your heart doesn't go pitter patter and you start to feel this power come over you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Pierre Buisson is the first one who wrote the lyrics. Remember, and so yeah. I mean, there are so many. Who comes to mind? Tony Bennett as well.
I listened to that one yesterday.
Oh man. Unfortunately, it didn't spin out the way it should have, but his phrasing and the way he, You're talking about quiet and peaceful, but with such expression.
Have you seen many live performances of this song?
I've seen Tom Jones.
Oh,
I have seen Tom Jones.
Did you get
Unfortunately, he wouldn't allow us to go backstage. Well, his agents,
oh,
yeah. But yeah, that was and it was later in years. He still has the powerful voice, but yeah, that was the only one I've seen live, other than my father.
it's amazing. I have to say, on a personal note, my father was a huge. That's why I first heard the song. My father was a huge fan of this song, and he would sing this song every day of his life.
Wow. Well,
Every day of his life. Well, that I knew, it was. I mean, he loved the song, and I think and he was a huge operatic fan, and this. The way that this is written, like I say, it just gives the singer a license to just give everything they've got. I mean, if you were to ask Tom Jones, or somebody asked Tom Jones, what do you leave out emotionally and technically in this song, that he would say not a lot, because you give everything you've got, really.
And what's interesting, Tom Jones starts with "You are my reason to live." He starts at the crescendo, where the musician stood up is where he starts.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday.
That's very, very interesting. So
I think one of the great things about this song, technically on a vowel type of thing, because the voice is fueled by vowels. Whenever I hear all the singers, they have very short consonants and very long open vowel sounds, because any young singer, if anyone's watching this and they're a young singer, definitely sing this song, because the first, as I go back to the first line, but till the sun deserts the sky, that is a lot. You've got to have. I'm not saying my vowels are fantastic, but you've got to have all vowel sounds and very short consonants. Otherwise, if you get on a bad vowel sound like this, to flat, and this song, for anybody learning to sing or wanting to sing, this song is textbook bel canto, almost in a bel canto, because I feel that although Tom Jones, Shirley Bassey, Tony Bennett aren't classical singers, they sing with a beautiful open sound, and it's based, when you look at the influence, you look at Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, Mario Lanza, and all of a sudden you're into the classical way of producing the vowel sounds, and I think it's something that is really, really, it's such a, I've not sung this song very much actually, but I will be in the future, but it's such an incredibly rewarding song for the performer and the listener, because you can give everything, I sing hundreds of songs over the course of a week, but this song is you've got to put it at kind of the end of a set, really, because it's very difficult to follow anything with this.
Yeah, if I may say, you're a baritone, right?
Yeah.
You have a very, very lovely voice and a great vibrato. You sing from down here, way down, in the chest. Comes out beautifully. I can't wait to hear your version. So
I think, and that's the great thing about this song as well, is that people with a low voice can sing it. It suits any voice,
right?
Because the song is bigger than the singer. When I was researching this on YouTube, Shirley Bassey, they all came up. And it was Till, and then there's people playing it in the style of the Shadows. There's people playing it on piano. Basically, there's all the great singers sing Till.
Yes.
I just wish someone like Mario Lanza would have been around to record this. So that would have been. I think he passed away well before this was popular. I'm pretty sure he did.
I'm not sure.
What?
Here's another one that comes to mind: Andy Williams.
Oh,
another one. Here's John Gary.
I don't know this. We'll put them all in the. I'll put them all in the description.
John Gary. Yeah. Now let me ask you. I know you're going to edit this, right?
Of course.
Okay. So I have prepared behind me, well, in front of me, I have prepared my father's recording. A friend of his did an amateur recording live at the cabaret one night.
Wow.
Quiet, where he just played. My father just played, and it so happened he played and sang Till. And I have a recording of it right here behind me, ready to play if you want to hear it.
Oh, yes, please. That'd be incredible. Yeah.
The moon deserts the sky, till all the seas run dry. Till then I'll worship you, till the tropic sun grows cold, till this young world grows old. My darling, I'll adore you. You are my reason to live. All I own I would give, just to have you adore me. Till the rivers flow upstream, till lovers cease to dream. Till then I'm yours, am I. Just to have you adore me. Till the rivers flow upstream, till lovers cease to dream. Till then I'm yours, viva.
Wow. That's
No one has ever heard this publicly, and I'm sharing it with you.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's beautiful history right there.
That's the real thing.
I mean, what the way he was paused, you know, and have those little silences, and from his piano playing, you can hear must be influenced by Liszt and Chopin, I would think.
Oh, as I
Yeah, yeah.
said, he was, great influence. He was classically trained.
That's
You know.
incredible performance.
Thank you.
I mean, he's a great singer.
He's got a pretty good voice. Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
He was a baritone like you. That's why I hear the intonations in your voice as well, with that similar vibrato.
and that's never been heard before.
Nope.
Wow, that's crazy. That is such. I'm so honored to actually hear that, because that version. I mean, I'm not just saying it. That's the best version I've ever heard of the song, because I mean, he just when you hear the original artist singing the song, that's by its definition, that's where that's the core of the song, isn't it? That's so beautiful.
Yeah. And that's recorded live. There was no studio. It was a mic and a Tandberg reel-to-reel recorder. That was it. No rehearsals. Raw. Wow. So.
And that was in a nightclub. Did you say that was?
That was in a nightclub where they played. Friday night he played by himself. He played 4 hours, sometimes more. Sometimes he'd play 45 an hour without stop. And
wow.
Everything was up here. He didn't read music. It was all up here. Then on Saturday, my mom would go with him, and they would do the duo d'Anvers, d'Anvine, the duo, and she would sing, and they would sing together, and that was it.
That's incredible. I mean, that's. I mean, I would say I'm stunned, because that was such an incredible performance. I think sometimes you can tell when people aren't being recorded.
This is live. It's raw. There's no rehearsal. There's no your time. There's no cut and paste. Nothing. It's the real thing.
It's incredible. And did you ever see him or hear him play around the house?
All the time. Oh my God. He used to practice often, and he wrote profusely wrote. I mean, he was a writing machine, and it was anywhere from a pop song to a full-blown orchestra, classical. I have a lot of recordings. I was into recording when I was young. I got into recording and now probably in 20, when I was 20. And I bought this 4-track reel-to-reel, used, and didn't know anything about it. And I evolved. And we had a little studio downstairs where his piano was. And I did a lot of recordings with him. They were fair recordings because I didn't have the technology and the knowledge. But it's raw, it's real, and it's there. It's on tape.
Wow, I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear that, because I mean, I'm only aware of the song "Till" of repertoire, but there's such a huge talent there and I think the incredible thing about this as well is that he took such an emotive time when the melody was written, and then, as you say, resurrected the fact that it's 2024 and we're talking about something that happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the songs that people will be singing for hundreds of years.
It's a classic.
I think so. I think that any singer would want to sing it, and because it doesn't matter how good somebody thinks they are as a singer, you can always find. I mean, I'm sure any singer would find something in this song you think, oh my God, that's something that pushes people, or in terms of expression, because if the opening line, till the moon deserts the sky, is such an beautiful.
Till the tropic sun turns cold, right? Yeah. Younger grows old. But that was the magic of Carl Sigman. I mean, what a prolific lyricist he was. Wonderful man. And unfortunately, I found out he died just a few years ago. And gosh, had I known that he was right here on the island where I live, island, I would have gone and knocked on this door just to say hello. Thank you. What a beautiful thing you did. Here's a little tidbit for you. Carl Sigman wrote another set of lyrics for another beautiful melody that should have become Till, and that my father wrote the melody, and it was called Gone. Carl Sigman wrote these lyrics, and they are to die for, seriously. Unfortunately, as it happens, life does things strangely sometimes. My father became impatient and waiting for this to come together.
Yeah.
So he made a deal with some publisher in France, and some little rock group took the music of Gone and did nothing with it. Meanwhile, Chapel Music, who was ready to publish this and put it forth, said to my dad, Charles, forget that. You don't worry about that. We'll take care of that contract. Forget that. We have this going on over here. It's going to be another till, they called it. My father was a man of honor. And he says, no, I'm sorry, I cannot. I made a deal. It was a handshake. Back then, a handshake meant something.
Sure.
It was a handshake, and I have a contract with these people. I cannot break the contract. And so, Gone, went to the wayside and was gone. If I have the opportunity, on a side note, I will dig it up and I will send you a copy.
Oh,
when you hear that, Paul,
yeah,
I say this with all humility and humbleness. It would have been the second till. When you read the lyrics and you hear to this melody,
yeah,
it was the second till. And
wow.
My father, poo-pooed the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was there, the becking call in his hands.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And did he play like live concerts all the way all the way through his life?
Yes, he did. Well, when we got to Paris, life was difficult. He had his first child, then my brother came along. Back then musicians didn't make a lot of money either. So even though he was very, very popular and people used to go to the cabaret just to listen to him, it was different. So until Till came about, and let me tell you briefly, I don't know how much time we have. Let me tell you briefly, okay, how we came to America. So it happens to be in the cabaret in the Champs-Élysées, or near the Champs-Élysées. A man came, and his name was Bill. I'm not going to say the last name, but he worked for the airlines, TWA. And he came back and forth, Paris, Madrid, New York, etc. And he often went to the cabaret where my father played. It so happens he spoke French. He was of French origin, an American. And he said to my dad, he said, Charlie, he used to call my dad Charlie, Charlie, you have to come to America because your music is a success. This probably was in 1961, 62. And sure enough, back then you just didn't walk across, freely to another country. We had to be sponsored. This man and his family sponsored us to come to America. It took 9 months for us to get the visa, the approvals, etc. Even though my father was renowned because of his music, by then he had a lot of, he had the substance, the financial means to do things. Long story short, that's how we came to Long Island.
And you've been there ever since?
And we've been there ever since. But that's the magic of it all. Till is the cause and reason why we came to America. I was 11, my brother was 9, my sister had just been born, she was 23 months old, and we got just shipped over here the next day. My parents put my brother in night school, and the rest is history. So
it was pretty much the song that got you to America?
Yes, again, yes.
That's the chain of events is staggering, to meet in Algiers, and that, and that is, it blows my mind. And I think the story matches the song, because the song is incredible and the story's incredible. It would make a great film.
Yeah, America has been, the land of opportunity, because America is the one who took Till and Chappell and Company, put it globally.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's been the mainstay of repertoire for every great singer.
Yeah.
Of that era for the last well, here we are in 2024, and people, the song, it seems fresh. To me, the song doesn't date at all. I think that the thing for me is that it's something that's classic, and the quality of the melody and the quality of the singers that have performed it. You know, as you're talking about those great singers. But I think, your father's version is the best I've ever heard. I mean, that's really, that is incredible. People will be blown away when they hear that.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I could share it with you. I figured this is so special, and you taking the time to do this.
Pleasure.
And your love of the music. I mean, you and your wife are such wonderful musicians. In 1962, Till was the leitmotif of the Cannes Film Festival.
Really?
Yeah. And for years it was aired on the in TV in France. So it just goes on and on, and layer upon layer upon layer. But to me, it just brings joy and happiness. How can you not?
Absolutely.
For a long time, it was the #1 wedding song on Long Island.
On every level, from a performance point of view, from a listener's point of view, from every level, it's one of the greatest songs of all, in my opinion, one of the greatest songs of all time. And like I say, I heard it every day from my father singing it. Before I heard the other versions, he sang it every day.
Yeah.
He was washing up or whatever he would walk around the house singing the song like millions of other people. And that's a beautiful thing.
I'm happy, and I'm sure I'm sure my parents are really thrilled to know that this is going on. And I thank you very, very much.
No problem.
Thank you. A lot. This means a lot.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been absolutely incredible.